Not all exercises are suitable for everyone, and this or any other exercise program may result in injury. Before starting any exercise program, including this one, you must first consult with your qualified healthcare practitioner. In the event you experience any degree of discomfort or pain, do not continue. Consult your qualified healthcare practitioner immediately for further direction. The creators, producers, participants, distributors, advertisers, or anyone else affiliated with this program disclaim any liability for loss or injury resulting from the use of this program, these exercises, or information depicted within. The instruction and information provided in this program are in no way intended as a substitute for medical counsel.
During this program, you should not have a significant increase in your heart rate, breathing rate, or the amount you sweat. Do not put your head or neck into extension. If your qualified healthcare practitioner has approved it, you may do this program more than once a day. After the exercise program, it is a good idea to drink some clean, fresh water to help replenish your system. Obviously, you'll need some appropriate, comfortable clothing. Also, everyone has different tastes in music, and therefore it is advised that you choose your own to accompany this program. Thanks.
Okay, we're going to start by loosening up a bit. We're going to do some light shakes. Just gently, nothing serious. Then we're going to go into some neck rotations. And remember, you never want to put your head straight back. What we do here is move your head down, roll to the side, stop, and go straight across. And rotate to the other side and straight across. This way you never put your neck into hyperextension, and that is the safest thing to do. We'll be doing neck rotations in both directions, and we'll be doing 10 of each. Neck rotations are good for general loosening up, and here we go in the opposite direction. And straight across, rotate around, and straight across. Many people, when they do neck rotations, tend to make big circles with their faces. And that is not what you want to do, and you may want to look at yourself in the mirror while you do these to make sure you're doing them properly. And now we're going to look left and right. Look left and right. And that's 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. We're going to be doing side tilts. You bring your ear to your shoulder for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Now remember, never continue with range of motion exercises if you have substantial pain or new pain. This should be pain-free. Next, we're going to look up and down in 3 positions. Move your feet to shoulder width apart. Look over to your foot and down for 1 and up. In the middle, look down and look up. And look over to your other foot, look down and look up. And then we move back again. Look down to your foot and up. Into the middle, down and up. And continue that. This is a good exercise for the posterior cervical muscles as well as levator scapula and certain aspects of the trapezius muscle. Second position, third position, and then back to the first position, and then the middle, and then third position. Now stop, and then go back to the third position, look down, and to the second position, and down and up, and first position. Very good, and then back to the third position, and continue on. Remember, while you're doing this, you don't want to put your head too far back, which is extension. Similar to when you do the neck rolls, it's not good to put your neck into hyperextension or too far back. This is also true when you're doing stretching. Okay, back to the third position, up and down, into the middle, and back to first position. Next, we're going to do some shoulder shrugs. Feet together, lift your shoulders and relax them. Lift your shoulders and relax them. And that's 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, and 10. And very good. Now we're going to do some shoulder rotations in both directions. We start in the forward direction. That's 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Now in the opposite direction, 1 and 2. Nice big rotations. That's 4 and 5. Now we're going to work some rotator cuff and pec muscles, arms straight out, and scissor back and forth. Left over right, and then right over left. And then we keep switching left over right and right over left. This is good for the chest muscles as well as some posterior shoulder muscles, commonly referred to as rotator cuff or sits muscles. Very good. Don't want to be breathing too hard. You don't want to be sweating. There we go. And relax. Next, we're going to do some side reaches. Feet apart, and reach to one side, and reach to the other. Very simple and straightforward. This is good for various muscles. Stretches out some of the muscles in the lower back, such as your latissimus dorsi, and it's good for your deltoids as well. And reach back and forth. Nothing too outrageous. Again, we're just doing range of motion exercises, maintaining a certain level of comfortable activity. And there we go. Next, we're going to be doing some reaches to the ceiling. Just reach up, and that's 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, and 10. Very good. And then we're going to have arms like a choo-choo train. And what we're doing is we're bringing them straight back and then straightening them out as we move forward. So not only are you moving at the shoulder, but you're also moving at your elbow. Nice big rotations. Very good. Again, no hard breathing, no particular amount of sweating, no significant increase in heart rate. Good. Next we're going to do windmills, arms straight out, and then in one direction, little rotations, getting a little bigger and a little bigger as we go, and then we start into the bigger rotations. Very good. And we're also going to do this in the opposite direction. And arms straight out. Now in the opposite direction from when you started. You can start either clockwise or counterclockwise, it does not matter. And then arms back, and starting with big circles. This is good to loosen up your shoulders. It does work on your shoulder joints, which are primarily muscular. And you definitely want to keep these loose if you play a lot of tennis or golf or those types of sports. Very good. Okay, next what we're going to do is some angels, and it's just arms above your head and then back to your side. And we continue those, They're very good for upper trapezius. What we're doing is very similar to when we were kids, making snow angels in the snow. It's rare during our daily routines that we get to do so many varied movements. Okay, relax. Now we're going to do internal and external rotation of your arms. Again, during a normal day, if somebody does this movement, usually it's one-sided, and we want to do them both at the same time to keep a good balance. And we're just doing internal and external rotation of the arms, moving them in and out. Very good. Next, we're going to squeeze our shoulder blades together and relax. Squeeze them together and relax. This is a good exercise for the lower trapezius and rhomboid muscles, and is a common area of discomfort on many people when they have upper back pain. It quite often is between their shoulder blades, and that's the muscles we're squeezing. Very good. And relax. Next, we're going to do wrist curls in both directions, just rotating your hands around in big circles. Loosen up your wrists. And in the opposite direction as well. Remember, at any time if you get overly tired, you start breathing too hard, there's nothing wrong with turning the tape off and starting again in a few minutes or later on in the day. Okay, now we're going to do wrist flexion and extension. Just bringing our wrist forward and back. Very good. And after we do this, we're then just going to be doing some opening and closing of our hands. Loosen up your fingers. Feels particularly good if you do a lot of work with manual dexterity. Good. And relax. Shake it out a bit. Just an interim shaking. Get yourself feeling good. Nod yes and no a little bit. Nothing too serious. Next, we're going to do some marching, bringing your knee up towards your chest as high as you can comfortably. This works the hip flexor muscles, the major hip flexor muscle being the iliopsoas. And this is quite good in the morning as well, just to limber up. Okay, and we're doing 10 on each side. Okay, very good. Again, nothing without too much pain. Next, we'll be doing some abduction of our legs. And we just do that by bringing our leg outwards. You may want to support yourself on a wall to make sure that you're nice and secure and you don't fall over. And we do 5 on each side, and we do that twice. So we'll be going back to the right side for another 5. And you can also do these lying down. The reason I like to do them like this is it also helps me practice with my balance. And we'll be just doing a couple more of those. And then relax. Very good. Okay, bring your feet out shoulder width apart for some deep knee bends. This is a good exercise to do for almost all of your leg muscles. And I'm bringing my arms outwards as I squat to use as a counterbalance. This helps keep your balance so that you don't fall over. As you squat down, you bring your arms out, and then as you stand, you bring them up. It also, again, works your shoulder muscles. Very good. Okay. Next, we'll be doing some lateral flexion exercises. We'll be bending from the center of our chest back and forth just to loosen up some of the paravertebral muscles, which are the muscles that run along the length of your vertebrae. We're going to be following this with lateral bending from the hip. Okay, very good. And then put your hands on your hips, feet shoulder width apart, and bend from one side to the other, reaching towards your foot. This also works various muscles of your low back, including your quadratus lumborum, erector spinae, and your oblique obliques. And we'll be doing 10 on each side. Nice and comfortable, no increase of pain or discomfort, no irritation. While doing this exercise, it's important that you don't twist your body, that when you move sideways, that you're in a straight line, so that you don't turn inwards or outwards. And then we bring our feet together. We're going to be doing some twists. So we twist from one side to another, and we do these slowly and we do them deliberately so that we do not cause a situation where if something goes wrong that we cannot stop the momentum of our body. If anytime I feel a pinch or an unusual pain, I can stop without the momentum of my body continuing into the discomfort, causing more serious pain. And this is for your internal and external obliques, as well as some paravertebral muscles. Next, we're going to be bringing our feet inwards and outwards. A very simple exercise. And this is good for lateral and medial rotators, which are internal and external rotators of your leg. These muscles include the piriformis, the glute medius, minimus, tensa fascia lata, gemelli, obturator internus, and such. All small but significant muscles. Now we'll change to the other foot. Again, these varied movements are rare in normal daily activity, and it's important that we keep these muscles moving so that the fibers do not start to stick together and become fibrosed, that these muscles get good proper blood circulation and usage. Okay, very good. Next we're going to be doing some hip hikes. Just raise your foot off the ground and hike your hip up. And we'll do a few on one side and then the other. And this muscle that you're contracting while you do this is primarily the quadratus lumborum. And it's a muscle that quite often becomes very tight, and when you go to stretch it, it sometimes isn't responsive. So this is a good exercise to do before you do try to stretch your quadratus lumborum if it is particularly problematic. Okay, and 5 on the last side, and 3, and 4, and 5, and relax. Very good. Next we'll be doing some forward flexion, feet shoulder width apart, knees bent, that's very important. Lean forward and come up to a neutral position. Lean forward and come up to a neutral position. This works the posterior back muscles and is similar to the movement that you do while touching your toes, except again your knees are bent the whole time that this exercise is performed, and this stops you from bending at your spine, and instead you bend at your hips, which is proper. Okay, and then we're going to do some footwork. Bring your foot out and bend it forward and back. This exercise exercises both your calf and shin muscles. And we'll be doing 10 on each side. Again, feel free to support yourself against a wall so that you do have the proper support. Now we'll be doing the other foot. Bend forward and back. Again, I like to do it this way so that I increase my ability for proper balance and coordination. But there's certainly nothing wrong with just leaning up against a wall to do this. And you can also do it lying down. And relax. Next we'll be doing some ankle curls. Just making circles with your foot. And we'll be going back and forth after a few on each side. Again, feel free to support yourself against a wall You can also do these lying down or sitting down, whichever is more comfortable for you. Again, I like to work on my balance and coordination. And we're back to the other side, and we want to go in the opposite direction. Similar to wrist curls. And it doesn't work any specific muscle group, but loosens up the general area. It's quite a good exercise to do before you do some running or activities where foot coordination is important, such as tennis, racquetball, soccer, football, those types of sports. Very good. Now we're going to do some mad cats. I'm just bringing a mat over, and this is a very good exercise for general loosening of the vertebral muscles. Get on all fours, push down, come to a neutral position, push up. Come to a neutral position, push down, come to a neutral position, push up. And we continue on with that. You never go from a upward position straight through to a downward position or vice versa. We always stop in a neutral position in between each of these exercises. So it's up, neutral, down, neutral. Up, neutral, down, neutral. Very good. You can also move your arms a little bit inwards or outwards to change the focus of that exercise. Next, we're going to do some adduction, adduction exercises. One leg over the other, and pull up and relax. Pull up and relax. And this works the muscles on the inside of your thighs. We'll be doing this in 2 sets of 10 on each leg. So we come around to the other side, top leg over the under leg, and then raise and relax, raise and relax. Very good. This comes to the end of our main exercises. After we finish with this exercise group, we're just going to stand, shake things out a bit, cool down, shake out any cobwebs, gently shake our head yes and no, and I'd like to thank you very much.